evening, everybody. It's the 9th day of February. Hope everybody's doing well. This is Midnight's Edge After Dark. We have with us the man, the myth, the Mexican Iron Man. Mikey, how you doing?
I am doing fine, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I was waiting for you.
I am having the weirdest technology issues this week. I don't know what it is. I think there are gremlins set afoot, or Bambino is, I don't know, is casting some kind of ghost spell.
Did you feed Bambino after midnight?
Friggin' Bambino, you're not going to believe this. So I made ribs last weekend, and I had all the bones in the trash can. Friggin' Bambino I came back today from a client appointment. There were 4 beef bones in the friggin' living room. Guess who knocked over the trash can and got in there?
Probably not a raccoon. I'm going to guess Bambino.
Yes. Fucking 4 huge beef bones. Like each one is 6-8 inches long.
Oh, you should know better than that, Dad. You got to tie them up in a couple bags and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he was so mad when I picked him up off the ground and threw them away. He was so mad at me.
Those were his.
No, they weren't. They were mine.
He dug them out fair and square, Dad.
Oh, for God's sake. Hi, everybody.
You messed up as a puppy father. You done messed up. Yes, good evening, and we're glad to have you here as always, Mike. And Bambino deserves at least 1 bone. They're beef bones. He can have the beef bones, can he? It's chicken bones.
Beef bones. Okay, chicken bones is a no-go. What else can he not eat? He's
probably pork bones. I think beef bones are fine.
Yeah, pork bones is a bad idea. He always throws up and gets real sick on pork. And chicken is a no-go.
But somebody who's all made out of rock.
I never have
no
pork.
Bones.
I never have pork in the house because I don't eat pork. So.
Oh, well. Not even bacon?
Not really.
No bacon?
Wow.
My goodness.
No, I find it out. It's just too fatty. It's gross. I mean, I've always been that way, so.
Wow, you're one of the few people I've ever met that besides vegetarians that don't like bacon.
Yeah, you might be a communist.
I even know some
I could also be Muslim
who secretly sneak bacon.
Oh, that too.
Communist. I could also be Muslim. You don't know.
Or an Alf.
He could be.
Yeah.
He's a Mexican Muslim.
Look, does Alf like bacon?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure Alf will eat anything, man. He's got 4 stomachs.
There you go. I'm anti-Alf.
That's good.
And also joining us is a man who I don't think has bones because he's made of rock. Clobbering
rock.
times.
Orangey rock. Hey, buddy.
It's like exoskeleton, isn't it?
Well, only for a while there, and when he got blasted, and when he turned back into Ben Grimm, and then he wore the exoskeleton suit of the Thing, and then Galactus blasted him and turned it back into the Thing. But never mind. That happened.
Got you. Well. Wait, aren't you Catholic, Mike?
I was born Catholic. I stopped being Catholic years ago.
Oh, did you actually get in with that whole Jewish movement thing with Hollywood? And converted?
I've been in a Jewish girl.
That doesn't count.
Boom, bam! Get it? I made a joke, everybody. That was so funny.
That was funny, but that still doesn't make you Jewish. Just so you know.
Yeah, I've heard.
Well, it didn't make her Mexican either. At least not for more than a night.
No, probably did not.
That's my diversity and inclusion program. Mexican Iron Man, spanning the continents, traveling the world.
Yes, you're spreading your seed. We know.
I'm more pro-diversity than all these fucking woke people in Hollywood. I'll tell you that much, because I have literally dated every color of the rainbow, and I don't mean the rainbow as in the flag. I mean, white, blonde, white, brunette.
Look at that rainbow Batman.
White. I mean, my ex-girlfriend from Jamaica, she was like black as asphalt. Jillian.
We don't judge people from. We don't judge you for dating the rainbow.
I should look Jillian up. She was from Jamaica. She was like. She was one of my sweethearts early in the day.
Aruba, Jamaica.
Ooh, her skin felt awesome.
Bermuda, Bahama.
Oh, Jamaicans taste good.
You know I wanna.
Yay!
Get us out of that. Get us out of that. Taste the rainbow, indeed. Yes. Mikey definitely probably has. He's lived an exotic life, let's say. That's the words for it.
I mean, I don't want to die tomorrow, but if I did, I could. If I went to heaven, it's not like God wouldn't say, "Hey, you've lived well already." I'm like,
you know what they say: live like you're dying, and die like you got everything to live for. So there you go. But yes, we've got so many people in the chat. Hello. We got Tiger Valley D-Buds here. We got Gulf Coast Gypsy Music. CC Karaoke's in the chat. I sent him a link. He should be here soon. I think Nick will be joining us as well soon. Culture's supposed to be here. But I don't think he showed up because you're here, Mike. Yak Domino's here. Shoom is in the chat. You got Shrap 3D here. Aaron Ratliff is here. Six is hanging out in the house. She's in the chat and in the back room looking at her butts, boys. We got Aaron Ratliff. I said that already. But welcome again, sir. We got Mecha J here smoking a red apple cigarette. He watched the intro commercial. See, we got General Sod here, not Zod. General Sod. Hey, you guys. That's right. And Brian's here, Duck Nation. All the cast of thousands that join us normally on Midnight's Edge After Dark. Thank you so much for being here. Neon Knight, Read by Nature, so many more. Hit that like button. Share out the link. Oh, we got even Neil in the chat. How you doing, Neil? Been a while. Since the last mod meeting, I think. Or not mod meeting, member meeting. It's the last time I think we talked. But yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, we even got Monkey Jeebus in the house. Look at that.
Hey.
So we got so many monkeys. We got War Monkey. Look at that. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. Mikey, I'm so glad to have you on, as usual, like you're supposed to be here. It's a warm feeling like a blanket.
I tried to explain to somebody. Someone asked me the other day, like, what is it about MEAD? And I'm like, well, it's many things, but since I live alone and like, you know, and all this other stuff, it is my social media. It is my fun time. It is my go to the bar without having to go to the bar. And it is my time when you can be with trusted friends and people you love and talk about things you love and frustrations you have. Nothing's better than MEAD for me.
Speaking of going to the bar, Mike.
Yep.
Norm, you know, Norm is the popular one on Cheers when everybody comes in the door. Everybody's like, Norm!
Yeah.
I think Nick's kind of like that here, don't you think?
Yep. Nick!
Hey!
How you doing, buddy? Nice shirt.
I'm good, man. Oh, thank you. I literally I came from National Pizza Day and the way.
Oh, so this is like your birthday and Christmas all mixed into one, man.
National Pizza Day. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, we had to wait a little longer for the pizza, but it's okay. We got the pizza.
How was it?
It was
Man.
great. And they had this thing where you did the 18-inch pizza, you got a free like a 12-inch pizza with it too. So just like just so much pizza. Like in my 9-year-old, she had for her like she usually does like 2 or 3 slices. She had 8 slices this time around.
Pizza.
So
rocks.
she's gonna knock out like any minute now. It was National. Yes, National Pizza Day was a success. Hello, chat. Hello, mods.
Nick, I have a question for you.
Clubby, talk.
Hey,
Nick, I have a question for you. What say you about pineapple and pizza?
What about it?
Are you in favor of this initiative or opposed to this initiative?
I'm very indifferent. It's just here's the thing. Like I don't even hate it. I don't even love it. I don't even like it. It's just there for me.
It's just another topping for you.
I feel like pineapple is saved by the pizza because I don't even like pineapple on its own. I'm not a pineapple fan at all.
It's a scientific fact that pineapple goes bad the moment you put it on pizza.
Okay, you know what's a scientific fact?
Pizza goes bad the moment you put pineapple on
you know what's the scientific
the real distraction is anchovies. To me, anchovies is the real enemy. Know how the news likes to like blow up news stories to distract you from another? I feel like pineapple's a distraction from the real battle, and that's anchovies.
You know what a scientific fact is that it tastes awesome.
As long as you like it, Mikey, you can have all.
Well, I guess the science is as compromised as Anthony Fauci.
Here's the beauty of Mikey and I. If we ordered pizza, we wouldn't eat each other's pizza because he could have that crap.
That is true. He's allowed to have those things on there, and that's fine. I get it. We can't all be perfect.
You know what's dangerous is that Pizza Hut has the New Yorker. They got the New Yorker. Do you guys remember the New Yorker?
I heard about that. It
is back. I had it the other day.
All the time.
It is dangerous for me to have it. It's as good as it ever was. I don't think they brought the sauce back with it though. I think they're just using regular sauce this time.
Last thing you need is more pizza.
I know, Mike.
Remember, dude,
don't even get me started on your dietary. Don't even get me started on your dietary choices.
1999, when they debuted that pizza, it was like the perfect storm because you had like 64 at its peak, you had the big New Yorker pizza, and you had the Phantom Menace, which, for all the complaints we've all had about that movie, the merchandise around that movie is awesome. And I remember I ordered pizza just so I can get the Phantom Menace merch at the time.
I got all of it.
I still have my giant Yoda cup. I think Taco Bell did the giant cups. I have the Yoda cup.
Yep, I got all those actually.
Hold up. Where is it? I got from Pizza
I have
Hut.
all 6 of them
Right
actually.
Here. This is what they had from at Pizza
that's
Hut.
with the toys. I don't have any of those anymore.
Fortune teller.
Yep.
I got this. Yeah,
It's like an 8. Yeah. It's like a magic 8 ball.
Yeah,
but I think it actually has Yoda speak though.
Oh,
like you shake it and it says no, says all signs or whatever it is. Like no, I used to have that. I got the cup still, but I don't have that anymore. That's cool.
I'll have to get the big cup out. So yeah, let's get to the topic so I don't take up the show talking pizza.
But yeah, we've got a super chat or 2 here, it looks like. Or member chats, actually. Let's start with those. Captain Fandom Nerd is in the house. How you doing? 21 months at the maximum effort puppy level. Says here for fun and time to chill. Well, that's what Midnight's Edge After Dark is all about, my friend. Ben Dowdy is here, and he's been a member for 2 months. Thank you so very much. Then we got a couple super chats here I saw. We got Mr. Buttcrack Media, who says, hail Tom, Nick, Clobby, and Mike, and the chat.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Mr. Buttcrack Media. Let's see here. We have Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. Today's my birthday. Don't sing, maybe a Mike rant. Well, there is something we do on birthdays. And Mike might get into a rant here. You'll see. What? I was sleeping. Oh, that. Where's my stupid lyrics? I don't remember all the lyrics to this song. Okay.
How can you not remember the lyrics to the song? You sing it like 5 times a week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm trying to do it like add a little oomph to the day to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey, kid, you got a mom who's like single? Where was I? Oh, who fucking cares? It's somebody's birthday. You turned a different age. You're 1 year closer to death. Congratulations, kid. Where's the cake?
You ate it last night in bed.
And he just leaves. He's just like, okay.
He's like the worst person to book. Like he does.
But he's consistent.
Oh, he's consistent,
and he's cheap.
Yes.
Even though he raised his prices for inflation, it's still pretty cheap. But happy birthday, Pinochet.
Happy birthday, Pinochet.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I'll try to think of something to rant about in the next hour.
Hey, we got Saggy in the chat. She wants you to call her.
Yeah, I'll call her this weekend. Right now she's going in the shower, she said.
My dad jokes I didn't know I was doing a dad joke.
Well.
Is Bat Tom just one big dad joke? Oh. I love Bat Tom again.
I'm a huge Bat Tom fan.
Well, you always come though, Nick.
Yeah, even after I have pizza, I still come.
So yeah, let's talk about the news. We got some news here. What do you say? Actually, first and foremost, let me say I'm so happy, and I know Nick might appreciate this just a little bit. MEAD Radio is finally complete. Today in the mail, I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 score.
Oh.
So we have all 3 now. All 3 scores in our possession. I know
look
Mike's
at
just
that
like whatever.
Eastman art.
Yeah.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
Nice.
That's what the record album and CD look like. Yep.
Dude, those I remember having 1 or 2 of those figures as a kid in those suits. I can't remember what year that line was, but I remember those, and
93 is when the movie came out. But they had like Leo in the suit before they had the movie, and then they did all 4 of them in the suits after the movie.
Did you
but it looks
see
like
what I posted for you and Garrett earlier
Yes,
about the pizza tossers.
The pizza tossers. They had like Mikey the other day. I was thinking about, or maybe it wasn't Mikey, it was Leo, one of them. They only had like one of them, and they had like doubles of them, but they didn't have the rest of them. Then they had a bunch of the movie turtles, which I mean, I'm of two worlds on. Yeah, they're not badly priced, but I've already got two different versions of those, the exact same figures. The only difference is they don't have the trench coats. Like they're exactly the same. So yeah, there's nothing really new to them. But James Gunn says Zack Snyder supports New Universe, responds to fans urging Netflix to buy the Snyderverse. It hasn't expressed interest. So yeah, let's get into this business. We've got James.
Oh,
Gunn.
there's a rant coming now. Let's go.
I figured as much. That's why I said.
All right.
James Gunn revealed on Twitter that he has spoken with Zack Snyder about the new DC Universe. Gunn, along with Peter Safran, is the head of DC Studios and is rebooting the DC Universe with a new slate of films and television series. Snyder was the architect of the previous DC Universe, commonly referred to as the Snyderverse, which launched with Man of Steel, including such films as Wonder Woman, Justice League, and Aquaman, and more.
Okay,
like Suicide
I'm gonna
Squad.
call BS on one of those parts. It was not intended to be the start of a DC universe because they were originally talking about if this was going to be a continuation from the Dark Knight trilogy, and there was talks. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They didn't want to know if Man of Steel was going to kick off its own thing or if it was going to expand off of what Nolan did. They even had Nolan on as like a producer because they're pretty sure it was like a one foot in, 1 foot out situation. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's
true.
literally objectively false.
All right. Well, let's keep. Go ahead. You
No,
anything more to
that's
say,
a good
Claude?
point, Nick. Bye. No,
Snyder's DC tenure became contentious after he left his Justice League movie during post-production because of family tragedy, and Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon to overhaul the film and its darker tone. Snyder now has a home at Netflix, where he's already debuted Army of the Dead, and his new 2-part Rebel Moon tentpole is in the works. Some Snyder fans have been using Twitter to urge Warner Brothers to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix so that the director can continue on with his comic book universe. I have to say that this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever, Gunn responded to one fan calling for Snyderverse sale. Number one, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he is doing. And yes, we have talked. Contacted me to express his support about my choices. Gunn added of Snyder, he's a great guy. Again, he's really happy with the massive support world building he's doing now. So there you go. Gunn and Safran overhauled DC Universe. Will likely kick off with a new Superman movie, Superman Legacy. Gunn is writing the film, which will center around a younger version of the superhero. Blah 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 blah. We know we're going to make every single we're not going to make every single person. This is something you already wrote a while back. So yeah, there we go. That is a situation. So guys, finally putting a I would say
Bookend
to the Snyderverse, all done and said, done and said and done.
It's dead. It's over. It's not coming back. As a Snyderverse survivor, I'm sick of hearing about it. You know what I realized about myself being a Snyderverse fan, Tom? I was like an SJW Wookie.
Sadly, some of their tactics are similar. I'm sure
No,
Clobby
dude,
knows what I
seriously,
mean.
if you think about what we did as Snyder bots, and I'm going to say we were Snyder bots, Tom, if you think about all the shit that we did, and I say we because I was one of them. I was on the front lines of that Snyder war, and I was on the front lines fighting and Twitters and retweeting and posting and commenting and showing up for all of his freaking events and blah, 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 blah. Tom, I think I had the same tactics.
Yes, and we have CC Karaoke in the house.
Thank you for the invitation.
Always glad to have you here.
Well, hello.
Look at that. Look at that lovely scenery behind you, sir. Canada.
Right?
I mean, anytime I can actually see it, which hasn't been much
Wow.
this season. But yeah, a little
Looks
bit today.
Beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Show
It
off.
looks like Rocky 4 in back
Right.
of him.
It does. Makes me want to run up that mountain.
I know.
Yeah, Tom will get like 10 yards out the front door, like, it's cool.
So yeah, anyway, we were saying, Mike, you were saying you're an SJW because of Zack Snyder.
If you look at all my tactics, they were pretty similar to what the SJW Wokies we're doing these days. I mean,
So you were a Snyder Justice Warrior, is what you're saying?
I was pretty much. I was a SJ Snyder Justice Warrior. Yeah, I was a Snyder Justice Warrior.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you were too cool for that because you were still
Time to no, dude. I
you were
was
still nice to people though. A
well,
lot of them weren't.
not if they didn't like the Snyderverse. Like not like how you and I are now. I was pretty vicious back in the day.
Oh, I hear you. Oh, man, because I got attacked a lot back in those early days when Man of Steel first soiled screens and then Bull versus Shite was out there. I did get attacked a lot, but I didn't think you'd be that kind of guy. I knew you weren't that kind of guy, though. Come on.
Well,
At least he admits his fault. See, that's when you know
No,
that
I'm-
Iron Man
yeah, I
has
understand.
grown. That he's
I got
grown.
maybe
that's a sign of personal
I'm gonna
growth.
say I was a flat out asshole. Like,
Really? I can't even imagine.
yeah,
you being
no,
that.
hell.
I know you and I never agreed on the Snyderverse, but I never saw you as like the ones who absolutely lose their minds. Where like,
we weren't
no,
like,
it's not that you don't like it, you just don't get it. I'm like, okay, Karen.
no, I was absolutely a Karen about it. I'd be like, well, you just don't understand. No, you have no idea. We just didn't live stream together then. This was pre you and me being on MEAD.
That's okay.
In fact, it was before I was even on MEAD.
Oh, before the MEAD.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I still have to actually watch the Snyder Cut. I had this
You can keep
This
it that
ultra-
way. You
I
can
had this
keep it that
ultra wide
way.
32:9 monitor when it came out, and then I saw the preview that was like, oh, it's in 4:3 on my gigantically wide monitor, and it's taking up this tiny bit of the space in the middle, and I just couldn't get excited, so I forgot to watch it.
You might join the ranks of all those people who tried to watch it and didn't finish it, like on what's it, Disney Plus. How many people? I mean, HBO Max. All those people who tried to watch it on there that didn't finish it.
Hey, just because I
Yeah.
said I'm in recovery doesn't mean you guys have to make me feel bad for ever being.
All right, well,
No, I want to make you.
So let's move.
man.
Let's
I'm proud
move
of
on
you.
then. Klobby, did you have more to add to this, or?
No, it's nothing surprising here at all. They're being nice to each other. You know, Gunn and they're being Hollywood politicians. So nothing earth shattering here. I'd say. Would you?
No, I'm just glad he's finally kind of putting one more stomp on it. Nick.
I don't believe Zack Snyder. I think he like Klobby. He's just doing lip service. He of course he's gonna say this. He's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I know. I totally support it." In real life, he's probably not gonna actually see any of these movies. If he does, he'll have someone like one of his like agents write a press piece on how it was the second best movie besides his movies. So whatever. I don't really like Zack Snyder, but it is nice to see. This is the closest I think you're gonna get out of Zach kind of admitting that the Snyderverse is actually dead. Like,
Yeah.
It's dead.
I
doornail.
think that's the closest you'll get to him conceding.
Golly,
it.
you guys want to have a party on my dead Snyder corpse or what?
No, man.
Dude, I don't want to have a party. I want to have a rave. Like I want there to be confetti. I want to get the champagne. I want to do like the Howard Dean speech. I want to go to New York. I want to go to Vermont. I want to go to Oregon, and we're going around Washington D.C. to take back the White House. Rah!
I'm just kidding, Mike.
Wow.
He said a rave, so. Now, CC, I know you came in here kind of late. I don't know if you got caught all this, but basically what you see here on the screen is that James just commented, yeah, no, Netflix hasn't expressed any interest in continuing the Snyderverse. Zach's happy where he's at. He's happy doing what he's doing, and he has moved on. So I don't know if you had anything more to say about that, but yeah.
It's tough to say, honestly, because I don't mind there being more Zack Snyder films. Honestly, I don't mind there being multiple universes in DC or Marvel or Star Wars or any other IP. I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity to be honest, when you could separate it, and people who don't care won't care. They'll just watch what they like, and the people who do care can have all the nice little columns of the separate universes and like what they like anyways.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I also completely understand why they're not, and I'm not surprised that James has finally commented on this, because it has been going around now for the last couple weeks, and frankly, I've been telling people I mean, I get what you're saying, CC, and I agree. Like, for the most part, the general audience would be fine to, go one place for their Snyderverse and go the other for the other. But Warner Brothers is not going to have a competing universe on a competing streamer competing against James Gunn at the same time.
Oh yeah, and I agree
It's
with
just
you.
not
There's
gonna
there's no
happen.
way it's
Yeah.
coming back.
Exactly. It's done for. So yeah, so there's not much more to say than that. We do have a new member in NZ Greg. And if I remember right here, you said 6 in the background. He is a minimum effort puppy. And we have a sticker for that. So let's do it. It is right. You know what? We do the minimum one all the time. Let's do a lazy puppy for a minimum effort puppy this time. We haven't done the lazy puppy in a while. And he looks so cute riding on the little iRobot. I also want to thank Monkey Jeebus, who's been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. And yeah, so anything more to say about Snyder and James Gunn?
Good riddance.
Yeah.
Mikey's just like, come on, move on. Move on. Move
I'm just
on.
like, it's been such a torturous ride. It's
I
just
know.
been,
I hear you.
it has been a I mean, and I was like one of those fanatics. I remember how my heart dropped when he fucking asshole said what he said on the G&G stream. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like watching my screen. I'm all excited. And I was getting ready to do a big drop. I was donating $500 and, don't get me started.
Well, I know some of you guys are fans of the Spider-Verse business.
Blech.
I'm not a huge fan of it. One of the, I guess, bright sides to the movie was the Noir Spider-Man played by Nicolas Cage.
It's the only thing I liked in the whole damn thing. And I didn't,
Yeah.
and liking that's a stretch, but it was kind of cool. Yeah.
Right. Like it's like, okay, that's not so bad. Like that's giving us something different, but the same, like it's Peter Parker, but it was like, what if Peter Parker existed in the 1940s, or whatever, in the 1930s or whatever.
It made sense.
Yeah.
It was just
It
mildly
made
amusing.
sense. The concept
Mildly
made
amusing.
sense. That's the thing. I've said this plenty of times, and I think Klobby can maybe back me on it. I've not obviously been wild about multiverses, but my exceptions have been 2099 and Noir, because obviously they're still kind of in the same timeline, but one's of the obviously not officially, but 29 is in the future. So it's like, okay, that makes sense because that takes place in the future. Obviously, Peter Parker would not be alive by that time. And then and you're thinking, okay, if you're in the 40s, the Great Depression era, that's how it would be. It made sense. But now there's just so many versions of these characters. It's just like it just for me, like it makes versions. It makes it feel meaningless. And that's saying a lot of concern. Like I actually enjoy the take on Spider-Man Noir. I've read the comics, and I bought them when they came out. I think it was David Hine who wrote it. And they're pretty good. I thought the concept of when the Goblin was and Craven write these mobster-esque villains too, but even like the serum still made him crazy. I thought there was a really cool idea there too, having the Black Cat run like a brothel, which is very on point for Felicia Hardy. There's a lot of really cool ideas there, but to me, I don't like having several versions because it just people eventually are like, okay, well, why don't they just bring this version of this character if this one's dead and this one? It makes everything. It takes away the stakes away from me. So everyone thinks I'm saying virgins. I see you guys. I swear I'm saying versions. Not.
It's that goddamn Illinois accent. He can't do it, guys. Just can't. Sorry. I feel bad for him. I know what he's going through. Spider-Man Noir, though, yeah. So it's in works over at Amazon with Lord Miller. Looks like it's going to be co-written by Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, hit writer of The Lost City, Orion Uziel. So yeah, not surprising because we already got kind of an announcement of a Spider-Gwen project in the works. They don't say if Nicolas Cage is going to be involved in this, but they do point out that he did voice the character in Spider-Verse. And being that, Lord Miller involved, I'm assuming it is a direct spin-off of that said character. So, yeah. I mean, they'll probably either just get Nicolas Cage or somebody to sound like him, I'd imagine. I don't know if I'll necessarily be lining up to watch this, but if a few of them come out and people say, "Oh, it was pretty good," because I've heard some things about it that are kind of intriguing, like how they, do different versions of the characters. I'm just picking on you. Yeah.
One of my favorite drummers jokes about that all the time. It's like you listen to the live shows and he always has to quip about the different versions of the songs.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's that accent, I love it. But hey, I mean, Clobby, you're the other comic book dude here, mainly besides Nick. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, man, I'm with you on the Spider-Verse crap. I just don't like it. Never could get into it. So I have a tough trouble caring about it. Like it's the Nicholas, the Nick Cage bits of the what is he again? Noir was kind of the only thing that made me smile about that whole terrible movie. So like you, not really feeling it one way or the other. I probably won't watch it.
All right, Mikey. You got a young kid too, so do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when is this coming out?
I don't know. I don't think they have a date set for it yet, but
I don't know. I mean, he's
I imagine sometime next year, 2025.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
did you like the Spider-Verse movie or
not at all?
Oh, okay.
Not really. It just didn't blow my skirt up, if you know what I mean.
Well, not you, but him. I said
he's not a big Spider-Man kid.
Okay.
It's so really weird the stuff he's all over the map. I mean, he's big. The biggest he's into is Godzilla, and like the 50s and 60s Godzilla. Like,
how old is he?
He's 9, and I asked him, Max, how are you into? He's like, well, Dad, I'm into the real Godzilla, not the trash that came out around the 90s and the 2000s.
Dude,
what?
I'm not even kidding you. My kid at the same age was the exact same way. He was a Godzilla fanatic, well, just like that.
And I'm like, what do you
like dinosaurs?
I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Dad, I like the Shin stuff. The new stuff's pretty cool. They've kind of done the story right. And he's talking to me like this, and I'm like, what? Because I love Godzilla.
No, well, like I said, I don't know. You were just coming into the channel, Mike, at the time, but when Godzilla versus Kong came out, I said they must have figured out the formula now, and that is that kids love monsters and dinosaurs, and they got both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And they were, because they're selling like fucking hotcakes. Like every time I go to Walmart, the biggest sections are Jurassic Park and Godzilla and King Kong are always the two biggest sections when I go into the action figures section. It's never Star Wars. Star Wars has this tiny little section now. Marvel has a tiny little section now. Ninja Turtles has a tiny little section.
Right.
All the other WWE, G.I. Joe, Transformers all have regular size to tiny sections. The two biggest sections are always Godzilla and Jurassic World. Every time.
Right.
Nice.
Kids love them dinosaurs and Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was the same way as a kid. I loved Godzilla and King Kong. That's what got me into some of this shit.
Oh, man.
Right?
My kid still has this big collection of Godzilla toys I gave him back around the time. And not only that, G-Fan magazine was huge. He's got him every issue of that. He still loves it today. Obviously, he's in his 30s now, but he loved Godzilla as a kid and still does to this day. So who doesn't love the big G, man?
Agreed. My 9-year-old, once in bringing her up in the conversation, she has a big old Godzilla stuffy. And if she's watching movies, she's only watching the old movies. Like she likes the old movies. And we had a dinosaur themed birthday party. And she's like the ultimate 50-50 super girly girl, but also loves dinosaurs and big creatures because she would be perfectly typecast to be the little girl theme if she was in a Godzilla or King Kong movie, where she would just want be nice to the big giant creature, and the creature probably like her because she's so like happy and gentle towards the big fellas. They
figured that out too. They just gave Kong a little deaf girl, and look how that worked out.
Dude, it makes a difference, man. It makes the kids latch on to those big giant behemoths.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best new characters we had in those movies. I'm like, there you go. About time you understand what these movies are about. Finally, somebody who watched one of these movies. Like, you don't have to make it as goofy as the other shit, but there's pretty simple formula to them. You don't have a lot of people, and the few people you do is usually like, you know, a blonde lady or a kid or something like that the monster can attach themselves to. And, you know, that's all you need. No, you know, it just makes sense. But I know we went from one extreme to the other, but that kind of just shows you where the interest is headed. Speaking of interest, this is not something is probably interesting to everybody and not something you'll hear all of us talk about in this sphere, but I found very interesting. And since we have at least one Canadian with us today, I thought this is a pretty cool bit of news. John Candy is getting a documentary made about him by Amazon. It looks like Colin Hanks and Ryan Reynolds are involved. The late comedian John Candy is getting a documentary treatment from Colin Hanks and Ryan Reynolds. Prime Video is in negotiations to acquire an entitled film that Hanks has been quietly directing. Reynolds, who like Candy hails from Canada, is producing alongside George Dewey via his Maximum Effort production company. The film will explore the life and legacy of the iconic funny man who died of a heart attack in 1994 at the age of 43. But insiders say the film... Wow, he's only a year older than me when he passed.
Wow.
Jesus.
And
I know, Mikey. But insiders say that the film will go beyond the persona and delve into the inner life that Candy kept secret off screen with the full support of Candy's widow, Rose, and their two children, Jen and Chris. Hanks will utilize never-before-seen home video archives and interviews with the family to explore the man behind the movie star. Candy became one of the most in-demand comic stars of the 1980s and early 90s, appearing in such films as The Great Outdoors, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, and Cool Runnings. Hanks brings to the project a unique vantage. His parents, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, starred alongside Candy in the 85 classic Volunteers, when the younger Hanks would have been an 8-year-old. Candy also starred in Splash with the elder Hanks the year before, a movie that put both actors on the map. Colin Hanks, who is best known for the Jumanji and Emmy-nominated turn on FX's Fargo, has been ramping up his directing career in recent years, helming such films as Eagles of Death Metal, Nois Amis, Our Friends, and All Things Must Pass, and TV series such as ESPN's 30 for 30. They missed a such in there. Or maybe, no, I guess TV series I guess it works. He is also producing the Candy documentary with his company name partner Sean Stewart and Zipper Brothers Films, Glenn Zipper. Reynolds boasts an active producing career, and then it's just a bunch of blah blah blah. Nobody cares, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. About time he gets some acknowledgement before he gets lost to the annals of time and people forget who he was. I mean, I'm slowly realizing some people don't even know who Chris Farley is.
Wow, really? I guess so.
Yeah.
I believe that, because here's the thing: when Chris Farley passed on, even though I knew who he was very well, and I was lucky, I was 10 when he passed on, and that was 90. So it was 97. I remember it was like December 97 when he passed. I remember. So I remember that day what happened. I was in 4th grade.
That was Chris Farley. Yeah.
So I was
Chris
10.
Farley was 97.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that day like just because I, as a kid, I had already seen Tommy Boy, Black Sheep, and of course, the Wayne's World movies. So I was really bummed because that was one of the first celebrities I grew up for me that as a kid being knowing who he was. I was like, oh, that really.
I remember that day pretty vividly.
Yeah, and then and that was so long ago, and so many other people have come and gone since then.
There's only a few celebrity deaths
see that
I remember where I was and what I was doing the moment I heard them. John Candy's one of them. Chris Farley's another. Michael Jackson's another. Robin Williams is another. There's only a few that when you hear that, you're just like, wow, and everything stops and you're just like, I mean, I know it's a celebrity, somebody you've never actually fucking met in your life. But they are somebody who's such a big part of your life. Christopher Reeve was another one that hit me real hard when that. I mean, and we all kind of knew that was going to happen, but I was at work when it happened and actually worked for a newspaper at the time. So the news came across to us and it was like, shit. It was just a real somber mood in the office all day long kind of thing. It was just, But No, like I'm looking forward to this. I think this is great. CC being the Canadian here. What do you say? Canadian boy, eh?
First thought that crossed my mind was I'm glad they're not going to try and do a dramatization of it, that they're actually going to do a real serious documentary of his life, because I don't know who could possibly capture John Candy. It would, I mean, there's nobody in Hollywood I could think of that would play the role. And I'm happy with Colin Hanks and Ryan Reynolds as far as I would be concerned for running this thing. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, and hopefully they can actually dig deep. You know, it's sometimes you get documentaries that are really surface level. It's just talking heads for a couple hours, and it's like, hey, he was such an amazing guy, and then they switch to the next talking head and says the same thing. Hopefully they can actually tell his story. You know.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to be able to do that. So I'm looking forward to this, and I think Ryan Reynolds is a good choice to helm this and back this up, and Colin Hanks makes sense. So yeah, being that the Tom Hanks and John made a couple movies together and everything.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mikey, were you ever a fan? You're kind of quiet.
Yeah, I think this is great. I can't wait. I think we need to celebrate the greatest comedians of our time, and he certainly is one of the greatest comedians of our time. Gone far too soon. There was a body of work that he could have pumped out. He was great wherever he was at, in any role, in any movie. I mean, he's we lose the great ones far too soon, and I think this is awesome. I can't wait. I love watching movies like this and stories like this.
Yeah, it's a good bit of news. Oh, look who decided to show up.
Wow.
Hey.
I can leave.
Well, you're just saying that now because Mike's here. Welcome, Culture. Welcome.
Hi.
And actually, I'm glad you're here because now we can actually talk about this fucking mess. Oh, the mess that is. If you haven't caught the new video that Andre dropped here recently, do check it out after the show. But he kind of breaks down a little bit of like just an opening salvo of what the fuck is going on with all this fuckery and where we're headed.
Yeah,
I think Bob Iger's gone full blown stupid. But
Yeah,
no, they're setting up to sell ESPN off. They're gonna fucking pull some bullshit here.
So?
Get me up to speed here, Culture. What's going on? Oh yeah, he was asked about it or something or other, and
He was, but
didn't deny it.
No, what he said is it's really important to us. It's so important that we created a whole other segment for it. So if you look at the way they just reset their table, and Mike may disagree with me here, but they have 3 legs to their table right now. What happens when you take a leg away from a 3-legged table? It falls over. So this right now, they have broken out TV and film and other, video entertainment, including streaming, from ESPN. ESPN is its own segment now. It's its own little division, whatever you want to call it. So you have the TV, film, streaming, all that in one little leg. Then you have ESPN leg, and then you have Parks Products and Experiences, including real estate, in the 3rd leg, right? And the 3rd leg is what's been holding the company afloat for the last 2 decades. And it's this ESPN thing that I don't know. Maybe you're right, Tom. Maybe they are looking to shed ESPN, but it doesn't seem like it. It seemed like they wanted to isolate it and protect it by making it a significant item to support their table. I could be wrong there. I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
I would be in shock if they pursue the sale of any major assets in the next 2 years. I think if any sales are going to happen, here's what I caught on. I mean, I think Tom's right, just not quite yet right now.
No, and I think we're going to see this with a couple. I can't say much about this.
But
I will say this: there's other studios that are doing similar things right now, where they're setting themselves up for future sales. They know it's not something that's going to happen in the next year or so.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. I disagree with you, Culture, and I agree with Tom. I just don't agree that it's going to happen anytime soon. Let me tell you what I caught on that conference call. That's as to why I support what the angle Tom's going in, because one of the things they said is that this restructuring the reporting is going to follow this restructuring, which of course happens in any corporation. they're going to recast the earnings of the first quarter that they just did so that they can have an entire full fiscal year of what are the earnings of these business units. You do that kind of thing when you are trying to rewrap different assets up to potentially sell when you want them aligned a certain way.
And we saw this in other places before. Sorry, go ahead, Mike. Go. I'm sorry.
You saw what I said? What?
No, we've seen this other places before.
Right.
But go ahead, Mike.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
that's my point. That's my point. This happens in other sectors. So I think what's happening is that I think that's one thing that's happening. I think the whole idea of him promising the dividend by the end of the year basically backs him into a corner. He's got a fucking. I think it's all put together. The reason why there's 7,000 layoffs versus what Chapek was going to do, which would have been closer to 2,000 or 3,000. The reason why there's $5.5 billion worth of cuts on the table versus Chapek was looking at 2 to 2.5. Okay. Yeah. I think basically basically it's like the race starts now. He's got 10 months. It's very funny to me because I remember saying with Chapek when he started his 10-month run, it was literally damn near almost about a year ago. And I said, Chapek better get off his ass, get his allies in place, and he better start moving. And he didn't. Instead, he chilled out and he got comfortable, grew out his beard. Next thing you know, the fucker was ousted. Now, in the case of Iger, he's basically put a clock and Peltz has backed off, yes, but he's basically said that he's going to make sure that there's going to be a dividend come December. And he's basically said, give me a break. Let me finish this fiscal year. And by the end of this calendar year, which will be December, and the reason of the calendar year is
you get a check for 88 cents, right, Culture?
Yeah, a shitty ass dividend check. But at least he'll be able to say that he's the first time that a CEO at Disney has declared and issued a dividend in 4 years.
Yeah, let's and look, Mike, I want to take that as something that will likely happen and is it possible? I don't think so. And I think that what he did and why he did that, resetting the clock that you know what you're describing there, is to try to give himself a clean slate to move forward. I don't think it's about selling something because he's too proud to do that, Mike. This is Uncle Bob we're talking about. I think he's actually going to try to go out and buy more stuff. Because the cost synergies he's talking about, the $5.5 billion in the layoffs, that doesn't make sense. They have, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, $14 billion in cash on hand or cash equivalents on hand. Is that right?
What does that have to do with $100 billion in debt?
Nothing. I'm just telling you, he's resetting the clock overall. He's not selling jack shit. If he sells anything, I mean, the reason that he floated the idea of selling Hulu, that would be more likely than anything else.
I agree with you completely. If there's anything to go, what I would do with him, I agree with you 100%. If anything's going to sell, what I would do is I would make Hulu a Fox asset fucking juggernaut, have as much as the shit that I can in there, which isn't a lot. And I would sell that fucking unit out. It doesn't bring in a lot of cash. It's a pain in the ass. There's a ton of Fox debt. And that's what I would do. If it were my company, but it's not, thank God.
Well, I think we'll see what happens, but like I said, and it's fine. I mean, the tea leaves are already being read right now, Mikey, and I think you and I are both on the scent of something. But I think you're right. He reset the clock on himself, and he's looking a year down the road.
One of the most interesting things that he did, which is kind of a little financial CFO trickery, which happens with CFOs, and I'll bet this was what's her fucking name? I hate this.
McCarthy.
Yeah. Okay, one of the things in that reorganizing the financials this way does two things. If there are any dark financial secrets buried, this is a very convenient way to reorganize your business units and your financial reporting so that those balance sheet items never surface to the top, because it makes it goddamn near fucking difficult on the auditors to find shit. Number one.
Unless it's a forensic audit. And then,
unless it's a forensic, but when's that going to happen for a company like this? Fucking never.
We'll see. I mean, again, if somebody can shed some light on stuff, and this is why that lawsuit was really important, that document search website lawsuit that's in their court that I don't think they're going to be able to get away from. Some of that stuff's going to get looked at by some real qualified people, Mikey. So
we'll finish my second half of my thought.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. That's all we do on MEAD. We interrupt each other, but that's okay. We have fun. But the second half of my thought is fuck. Now I lost the fucking thought. No, I didn't. All right. The other thing that it does is it lets him. I'm going to pick up what you said earlier when you said reset the clock. That is very important. What you said, Culture, about resetting the clock, because what Iger's done is that he's financially reset the clock by wiping the slate. His financial results won't be able to be compared. He literally is reorganizing this company so that it is a new company with new financial results. So when you say culture, that he's basically resetting the table, he is completely resetting the table, not just in terms of like strategy and goals and that kind of shit, or corporate reorg, but literally the financials. He'll be able to say, I did this here, I did that there, and it's going to be damn near impossible for anyone to say that he's done better or worse than his predecessors.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. And that's, again, the whole reason for the reorg. How many times are you going to reorg this company in the period of 10 years, Mikey? Holy cow.
Well, and here's the one thing where I will agree with you on the whole, not necessarily for a sale thing with ESPN culture, is I think that had more to do with what's his face, it did help get pelts off his ass.
Dan
Loeb.
Yep.
Dan Loeb, yes. I was gonna say appeasing him, and then there was a few of these moves, and that was probably one of them as well, that also appeased Peltz to where he had no interest in getting involved in this any further. Because clearly whatever happened between them, he's back down now too. So whatever it was Daddy Iger did it, and he pulled this shit. I don't know how he did it, but he was literally, to me, from what I listened to yesterday and what we've gotten out of this today, he is the wizard behind the curtain right now, and I don't know how the fuck he's pulled this off in the last 48 hours, but he did.
Can I postulate one last thing here?
Absolutely.
How about Peltz isn't really backed down? He just publicly backed down. How about
that's very plausible. I can understand what you're coming from.
How about he continues to put money into this? How about he gets his friends to continue to put money into Disney? You know,
well, there's a little bit more to this story, actually.
I would, whether or not that happens or not, I would argue that one of the reasons Peltz is back down is because he just made 32 fucking % in the last fucking 2 months.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about the whole like stock dividends and all that kind of shit and how much people make off of shit. I don't know that.
Right? I do.
I know you do. But what I do know is that Andre did a video way back in November of 2015.
What?
That got confirmed recently.
What? Can I do the Skeletor? What?
You can just hit the button.
Oh, yeah. Duh. What?
This was sent to me by a fan today, a listener. And also the connection to Andre's old video, because this was before I even came into the fold. But this confirms something that Midnight's Edge reported back in 2015. Bob Iger says he prevented Marvel chair Isaac Perlmutter from firing Kevin Feige in 2015. So yeah, there was a chance, or there was a time when, and honestly, at this point,
that makes a lot of sense, actually, because I remember
would have been in the fucking right here, actually.
Yeah, no, because I remember now. I even though I wasn't following Midnight's Edge at the time, I do remember stuff coming out from the grapevine that Feige wanted to separate Marvel Studios from Marvel Comics because he didn't want there to be any correlation for the movies going forward after that. And obviously, Perlmutter being the CEO of Marvel, he was not with that at all. And Feige basically still had to answer to Perlmutter, and he didn't like that. He went to Iger to get him out of the picture.
Yep, that's what this is really boiling down to. This has to do with that period of time, Nick. Exactly. And yeah, we know what the outcome was. Perlmutter got sidelined, and Feige got his way thanks to Daddy Iger. And what happened? The entire Marvel universe went to shit. In fact, like I said, we just did a video kind of touching on this, and Andre actually himself put together this excellent chart that shows you exactly why Perlmutter probably was in the right. Look at this. Since Endgame,
wow.
If you take out the Spider-Man films, which are, co-produced by Sony or whatever you want to call it, co-owned, whatever, they get to keep, majority of the money. This is the Marvel Universe.
Wow.
Takes a huge fucking nosedive, and this is where it's been setting ever since. Now, remember how they halved the audience with Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you look at this, they have cut the Marvel's audience into third.
Yep.
That means they've lost 2/3 of their fucking audience
Yep.
since then.
That is nuts. That's
Wow.
actually I don't even think that's just like bad economy kicking. I think that's just all like interest is just waning. I think obviously bad economy adds to it, but I really just think it's just a
This
lack of
dip right
interest.
here. This dip right here, Nick, we'll give to
Yeah.
the bad economy because this is COVID right here. But
Yeah,
this
but just
this
remember,
is Doctor
Eternals-
Strange right after Spider-Man No Way Home.
You're right,
That's-
but Tom, just remember Eternals and No Way Home were only not even 1 month by calendar year apart from each other.
And that doesn't help with
I get your
Eternals. Yeah.
point. I get your point, and it makes sense. I truly believe it was a lack of interest. I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home was the first movie to really, obviously, yes, there was not as much like hysteria over the China virus, but the thing is, they were within a month of each other. That was just a lack of interest with Eternals. That was not, even if you play Eternals now, I don't maybe do what, $20 million better? Maybe do better than the first Captain America First Order, maybe. So much for saving lives, Eternals. Couldn't even save yourself.
Well, that's pretty poignant here. And I mean, really, the downturn with this is, I mean, it begins before Endgame, right? Like, this all is kicked into action with Black Panther and Captain Marvel are ground zero, right? Black Panther worked out well. It was a cultural trend. It hit at a time where it was perfect for it.
Oh, yeah,
I
it
mean,
did very good.
Captain Marvel, on the other hand, showed their hand. I mean, it did well in the box office, but there's clearly something that doesn't smell right in Denmark because she's getting sidelined in her own sequel. This is one of the few times we've seen one of the female heroes get sidelined, even though it's by another 3 or 4 women. She's still getting sidelined in her own sequel. So somebody who was supposed to be one of the big parts of the Marvel universe going forward is on her last leg here, and they can't even salvage that. But we already know what Bob Iger's up to. They said they're going to double down on this bullshit. So what do we think the future of the Marvel universe is here, folks? I think it's very grim. Speaking of grim, let's go to our comic our comic aficionados here, Klobby and Nick. Klobby, starting with you, where do you think the movies are headed from here? I mean, this is not looking good for them.
No, and look at well, we got a couple of weeks. Was it next week? We get we get Wasp and Ant-Man. Wasp makes fun of Ant-Man for 2 hours, as some people are trying to call the film. So that does not look promising. I don't even know what the order of the slate is coming up, but no, it doesn't look like it's got a lot of there's a lot on the horizon that speaks of any kind of success. I think it's going to at least go down a little bit from there and probably stay flat for a while. In other words, certainly nothing I could see going up. I think they got nothing up. I don't even know what's coming up this year. That's how out of it I am. I mean, I know about Ant-Man. What else is there? But I don't see anything on
Guardians,
the horizon.
and Marvels.
Okay, that will be big. Guardians will do well. Maybe.
And then the Marvels.
And then that's right back down into the sewer.
Yep.
Right back down. So Guardians will be, I don't know if it will be Spider-Man No Way Home level, but it will be the biggest thing they've had since then, and it'll be the last big thing I can see that they're going to have for a while.
I agree with you, Klobby. I think that's pretty good assessment there.
Ant-Man, though, however, that's the big question. That's actually the big question right there. I don't think it's going to be that great.
I'd argue that the Marvels is the real question.
No, I don't think that's.
I don't have any doubt that's going to be bad, but Ant-Man could go either way.
Well, not in terms of being bad, but in terms of being money. I'm sorry, Klobby. Let me correct myself.
No, I'm saying
talking
in
about
money.
In terms of
that's
money.
what I'm talking about too.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about too. I'm not so sure Ant-Man's going to do that great, but it may. It's going to depend on a lot. They've been reshooting things and stuff like that. No, I hear what you're saying, Nick. I'm saying the only thing that's going to be big for them money-wise for the foreseeable future is going to be Guardians 3 for me. Ant-Man might go either way, but I'm not thrilled about it, and there's no way Marvel is going to do anything.
Ant-Man could have an uptick for the franchise, but I doubt it. You got to look at it this way. Like,
no, I doubt it too.
The last 2 films, they're in some of the lower grossing of the Marvel films. The first film didn't even make 500 worldwide, and the second film just under 700. So if this one scratches 7, I'll be surprised. See, that's the thing. They're on such a
Yes.
downward trend right now. But I agree with you. And Nick, I'm curious what you think too, being the other comic, and then we'll get to everybody else here. But yeah, because I think Klobby's right. I think the only shining hope they have is Guardians of the Galaxy, and they may get some false hope from that. But I don't see the Marvels performing on the level that Captain Marvel did.
No way.
I mean, for me, what I see out of Ant-Man Quantumania, I mean, I think it's actually gonna have a good opening weekend. I truly believe. I think it's gonna have. I actually think there's gonna be a decent number. I think it's gonna actually. I'm gonna go as far as to say I think it's gonna hit 6 digits. Its opening weekends. However, my real fear is the second weekend beyond, because I think there's some interest in what's going to go on with the setup of now the next big villain, obviously with Kang the Conqueror. So I think that's what's going to drive in the interest too. Between that, obviously it's the third Ant-Man movie, and the second one did like almost 80 million opening weekend. So I think it'll have a small boost after that. And of course, a lot more people became aware of him after Endgame as well. But I think it's going to really hurt as far as the legs or where it's going to be at. I worry the movie's going to be, oh boy, average maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's
Well,
what
even the critics haven't been too loving to it.
Yeah, they haven't, and that is definitely something to take note of. I think Guardians does have a genuine shot of hitting $1 billion. I think at the minimum, actually, Guardians 3 will hit $1 billion. Now, will that be because it's such a strong weekend and then it dropped off? That the fact that the first weekend, carried the majority of that chunk? We'll see. Or will it be that the movie ends up having legs? Because I don't know how that's going to go. But either way, I think it's going to make at least $1 billion, because interest will be high. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Worldwide, there'll be interest on that movie at the very least. So I think that alone's going to help shoot it to $1 billion. Now, could it do a $1.5 billion if people actually like it? Yeah. And so we'll see. I mean, if there's going to be any movie that is going to be, having issues, I think it's going to be the Marvels.
Yeah. Yep.
Mikey,
that doing particularly well.
Yes, sir.
What's your take?
I think that graphic is absolutely fascinating, and although we talk about it, that makes things quantifiable. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I'm a DC guy, so frankly, I got to be blunt. I could care less if all you Marvel heads getting. You guys have gotten it good. I really don't care if you don't get. I'm
But
more
you're
worried.
Mexican Iron Man.
Look, in the Marvel universe, there are only a couple of Marvel characters I ever cared about. And Klobby knows this story for years. One of them's Iron Man. The other one's actually Doctor Strange more than anything. I was almost Dr. Mexican Strange. That would have been.
I can see where that would come off wrong, though.
Yeah, but it didn't come off right.
I need to go get some Mexican Strange.
Yeah, that Doctor Strange, I read a lot more of him in Marvel, and then the third one would have been Fantastic Four. Those were really the only 3 Marvel books I ever got into as a youth. Other than that, I was a DC head.
A youth?
Yep, youth. A DC youth.
What is a youth?
A youth. Y-O-U-T-H.
Youths.
I'm
He's a
sorry,
version of a
youths.
DC youth. He's a
As
version
a young
of a
taco
DC
farmer.
Are you making a mockery of my court?
youth.
I love that fucking movie. I don't
Great
care.
movie. Love it.
Did you see? Did you see what? I love that Johnny Lawrence Twitter account. I don't think it's associated with the actual people, but
It's
you guys know the one I'm
it's a
talking
funny
about.
account.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Hilarious.
Did you see what they posted last week? Why didn't anybody tell me LaRusso was accused of murder once?
Oh God, you're kidding me. That's fantastic. That's greatness. I love it. That account's great. I've seen it in a while. Doesn't come across my feed anymore.
Yeah, it's still that. This was just like last week he posted this. He's like, why didn't somebody tell me LaRusso was wanted for murder once? Or once in what state was it in? I can't remember now in the movie. Alabama. Yeah. Why didn't somebody tell me LaRusso was wanted for murder once in Alabama or something like that? So,
or as we call it here, Alabama Stan. Sorry, Alabama.
Mikey, you got the booze ready?
Why? What happened? Oh shit! Hold on. Come
Yeah,
on.
now you have to.
Woo! Shit.
Jim Watari
I think
sends in
Culture
20.
should do a shot with me.
You know, he
I
has
don't feel
sent
like
you enough
I
now.
almost
You
feel like I should too.
Yeah, you guys
Not-
should.
I
The
don't feel like
drinkers on
Culture,
the
go camera on. Let's do this. Come on.
all
Culture,
drinkers
go
on the stream.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Culture and I have
me.
never had a drink together on stream.
And we aren't for the rest of February. This
Be
is
right
my
back.
dry month.
Go
This
get it.
this is my dry month. I'm not drinking at all.
Are you kidding me?
No, February is my dry month, dude. Normally I would. You know me. I would definitely do it.
That's what I'm
Let's
like.
go
I'm
get
like,
some freaking
I'm
apple
like-
juice and pretend.
I
Is that
really
for
think
Lent
that when
or
I
what?
show up, he doesn't show up because I'm here, and now I'm saying I want to drink with Culture, and he's saying he won't drink with the Mexican. That's racist.
I don't think that's what I said, but
Is that
drinking.
for Lent,
Wait,
buddy, or
here's
what?
the proof. I'm gonna drink because Jim Watari says to drink. I'm Mexican. Look, see the proof?
what am I looking at? The tattoo
brown
on your
skin.
nipple? Oh,
I thought it
looks
was the mole.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Is that a
weird.
mole or was that just a really bad tattoo of like the globe? What is?
Well, I didn't know. Maybe they, the mole meant he's a Mexican. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I was trying to
Jim
figure it out.
Watari.
Maybe is
Yeah.
that just what do they call that stuff where they draw on you with ink?
It depends if it's a girl or not. Jim?
No.
Look, Jim, I even got a haircut since yesterday. Here we go.
Yeah, kampai.
There you go. Banzai.
Oh, kampai. Pie.
Woo! There's fires in the loins, everyone. Fires in the loins.
Hey, Mikey,
Yes, sir.
CC took a drink of water while he was off
I
screen.
did. I already took a drink of water.
Not
I'm
you,
halfway-
the other
Yeah,
CC.
water.
Jim Watari and a
All
couple
right,
other people.
step back.
I'm halfway done with this
Oh
bottle
my,
already.
Nick just went and got a drink. He's just like,
No, I was not joking. Mike said, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, I should take part in this, so why not?" Do it. I'm
I know.
having fun here.
We've
on
been just
Midnight
spending the
Session
last
tonight.
5 minutes arguing about it because Culture's like, I don't drink in February.
No, I don't drink in February with Mexicans.
That is not what I said.
By the way, I have a gripe with Culture.
I haven't had a drink yet. Dude, you realize there is a bottle of perfect Pinot Noir that is waiting for me right now that I cannot touch until the 1st of next
Is that
month.
red
can't
or
even
white? I
poke
can't
it.
remember now.
Can't even
Pinot
smoke
Noir
it.
is red.
For Lent, right?
Oh, yuck.
So
Yuck.
February, I'm dry. Sorry.
He
Oh,
did
Culture,
he
Because
doesn't
I have a
wet his
gripe
drinking,
with you.
because you were drinking something.
oh, I drink water. This is water.
Go, Nick, go.
Nick's partaking. There you go. No, I don't really drink either, so don't feel bad. Mr.
Ooh.
Tickle Trunk's in the house, and he says, "Oh, that was a good one, hey Nick."
Yeah.
Latino slant raid. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and thank you, Paulie. If you're
All right,
talking,
all
Mike, we
13
can't hear you.
people.
There we go.
Oh,
Polly. Boombaye.
Mike.
Polly.
hey,
Boombaye.
Paulie's killing it with his channel.
Did you have a drink too, Clavi?
Lately. He's killing it.
I actually do not drink. Sorry.
I didn't think you did, so I was
I'm a
just.
bore.
Yeah.
I made up for
No, you're like me.
Clavi.
You just have a
That's why I
drink of
did that
water or
double.
milk or
That's why I did the
something.
double.
Oh, I drank
Boombaye.
some tea. Yeah, some sweet tea.
There you go. Oh, great. Hot.
Some sweet tea. Get some sweet
Ice.
tea.
Some iced tea without ice in it.
Willie the Monkey King has been here for 18 months at the Congo.
Congo.
Congo. Says, hail, panel and chat. Mods, sub to these guys' channels, even Mexican Iron Man, because he's a YouTuber now.
What? No.
And he goes on to say, Gunn seems to me like he's trying to pull out an olive branch to Snyder fans. The comics to SMW, Spider-Man No Way, I think, what is that? SMN? Was good outside of
Superman.
that. Oh, Spider-Man Noir.
He's talking
Spider-Man
about
Noir.
Also,
No,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
Noir.
Noir. Yeah. But outside of that pass. Yeah, I've heard some things. I don't know if they're going to be able to actually be true to the comics or not, but we'll see. Considering it's kind of a kid's show. Darius sends us in a hamburger, making me hungry, buddy. Haven't had my supper yet. Colin Hanks was a lieutenant in a Band of Brothers. Yeah, Pinochet. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was also just recently in the Offer. He was a dickhole in that too. Brado Jacko says Paul Walter Hauser or Brendan Fraser as John Candy. I don't know if anybody should play John Candy.
No.
No, I just don't know if anybody could pull it off. Brendan Fraser, man,
No,
he's
no,
too old already.
Yeah, and he's too tall. It's weird. There are some people I don't think you can do a biopic of, and I think John Candy's one of them because I can't imagine anyone being able to do it. Farley's dead. He would have been the only other guy that could have done it.
Now the other kid they're talking about here is the guy from Cobra Kai.
You know, I'm sure they already I'm sure they already pointed at the fat guy from Mike and Molly too, but he's a bad choice as well, and I don't like him. He's a fucking schmuck.
No, I don't think anybody could pull Candy. I can barely pull off doing an impression of his voice.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean his voice. First of all, his voice. He's so Canadian. You know,
orange whip.
And you need
3 orange whips.
You have to be able to just go off the cuff like he could.
Oh God, yeah.
Just and that level of talent is once in a generation, as is. Besides,
you play with your balls a lot. I don't see anybody do as much ball handling in one night as you do. Hell, Larry Bird doesn't do as much ball handling. You know what I'd like? An extra set of hands and an extra set of nuts.
Hey,
I love him.
That's my favorite. That was one of my favorite football
Mikey
stories. Mike, you're wearing a sombrero.
Sombrero.
Right. So,
the French would call that a chapeau.
Look, everybody.
You're like
I'm Mexican.
480p right now.
Yeah, dude. Could you have less resolution?
You know what? Your culture's always. Hold on. How do I adjust my resolution? Oh,
go
click
into
on
your
high
settings.
definition. Okay, here we go. Is that better?
Yay!
Oh yes, look at that beautiful brown
Mikey.
man.
Oh, look at that hat.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful, gorgeous hat.
Nice.
Actually,
That's
an
nice.
authentic sombrero.
You have Daryl the derelict.
That's my.
Oh
favorite.
wow!
That's my favorite hat.
Yeah, the reason he got it for me, oh Jesus, I'm gonna strangle myself, is because I'm an Oakland A's fan and I was looking everywhere. I mentioned on the live stream like a couple of years ago, I was looking for a green and gold one, and he found me a green and gold sombrero for because I'm an Oakland A's fan.
Yeah, you know they're not going to be in Oakland much longer, right?
Yeah, I don't care. In fact, I want him to leave Oakland. I already told I used to have season tickets for until 2 years ago. I told my season ticket rep that I had for like over a decade. I said, as soon as you guys move to Vegas, call me. Culture, we can fly out there. We can go to games together.
I know that'll be amazing. I love it. We go. Yeah, I'll bring my pop. I'll bring my pop with me. You'll love him.
I thought you said pot for a minute.
Someone should screen clip me. Look, it's Mexican Iron Man with Yep. Okay, that's enough attention getting.
All right, and then Master. Oops, where'd it go? There it goes. Wrong button. Oops, I did it again. Trying to make Mikey small.
Did it again.
Yeah. By the way, that Reedy Creek bill of appointing new members by government has passed the House tomorrow. Senate votes on
it. It is moving fast.
Be signed by tomorrow. Boy, how it developed so fast. Yeah, did Mikey, you guys, Culture, anybody want to comment on the Reedy Creek bill?
I only wish that it had actually gotten signed the day they were doing the release, the quarterly earnings call. That would have been the cherry on my Sunday. Let me tell you. Yep.
Anything, Mike?
I think Culture's 100% right. I think what DeSantis should have done, if he really wanted to escalate this, is he should introduce the bill last week and had it so that he was signing it the morning before the press conference and before the fiscal results. That would have created havoc. Culture, can you imagine how much havoc that would have created, just for the investor call?
How do you react to that? Okay, so here's the thing. If he actually signs the bill, when they let's say they delay it a little and he signs the bill during the shareholders meeting, the annual shareholders meeting.
Oh, that's coming up. You're right.
That's better. That's even better because he can't avoid the questions. He talked to 5 safety valves. That's the problem.
That first lady that came on, wasn't she from Bank of America? Where's she from?
I don't remember.
Hey, Bob, I'd really like to suck your cock, but I know everybody's watching right now. I just want to tell you, you're doing an amazing fucking job, Bob, and I just love you. Can I call you Bob?
It kind of was like that. I mean,
Bob, it's just amazing how. Oh, Bob.
Didn't you say something like, Bob, it's so nice to have you back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
They all were like, welcome back. Welcome
Except for
back,
the last guy.
welcome back,
The last
welcome
guy,
back.
the last guy was like, "Yeah, my welcome back comment," and then he went on to do his thing. I was like, "Damn!"
And
That's
then
a boss
Bob
move.
Iger is sitting there just going like, look over here, don't look over there, look over here, look over there. I'm going to do the same thing Chapek was going to do, but you're going to praise me for it any fucking way. It's
And I'm
exactly
gonna
what he
take
said.
credit for the financial results that happened from October through December based upon whatever was agreed upon the 6 months before my predecessor was here. Fucking asshole. I hate that Iger. I don't know who I hate more, Culture. Who do I hate more? Do I hate Iger or McCarthy?
Yes.
Commander Ed Straker of Shadow confirms yes, the first caller was from Wank of America.
Yeah, it was weird. Man. They get to Nathanson, right? And it's because I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a real question. Nope.
Yank of a man.
I thought that was going to be it, right? JP Morgan softballed the shit out of it. It was terrible.
Remember, here's another softball. Yeah, I think the JP Morgan.
And then next up was Wells Gargle.
Right, Wells Fargo. So they're like, so Bob, as we're looking going forward, Disney Plus in terms of operational earnings, is that something that we're going to be continuing to be on track for 2025, or are we going to walk that back? I mean, what the fuck? That's like asking your cheating husband. So I know you're banging other chicks left and right. You think someday you might be faithful? God, it was fucking disgusting.
Well, dude, the end. Okay, so you realize he didn't adjust. He should have. He didn't. He had an opportunity to adjust profitability expectations to 2025 or 2026, because that would have just been, in good faith.
Yep.
Right. No. Now, end of 2024. Fuck you. It ain't happening, dude.
I think that he didn't even say what kind of dividend for the end of the year. And frankly, let's be real, he can actually have a shitty quarter. All he has to do is muster up enough cash by December 31st to do any kind of shitty dividend.
17 cents.
That's what I said. I wasn't kidding when I said the 88-cent checks.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think, look, here's this joke. I'm going to give you a zinger. Talk to my mom on the phone today. She's like, yeah, I'm going to get 1 cent per share. I was like, there you go.
Pretty much. No, I wasn't even joking about like the 8. And I mean, I know it all depends on how many shares you have and all that kind of business. But I mean, you watch, like people are going to get like $1.32.
Yeah, dude, it's going to cost more money to print the check.
Yeah, right? In some cases it will, because they'll get like a 16-cent check. And it's like, bitches, it costs you more to send me this check and print it than the actual check is fucking worth.
It's just
like,
bad.
Really?
It's just bad.
Like,
I don't know.
Basically, your mom isn't going to even have enough money from her dividend check to drive to the bank and make the deposit.
I know.
Yes.
I know. I'm like, you better walk.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, it's just those things. It's like,
and then off that, Mikey, Pinochet wants to know, and I'm sure Culture has a thing to say about this too. How does BlackRock being declared too big to fail by U.S. government affect companies like Disney? Their bailouts are secret promises that emboldened.
Yeah.
Go Culture.
I hadn't heard about this.
I don't know I don't know about BlackRock being declared too big to fail. That's a culture.
Yeah, this is the first time I heard about it.
I haven't. I have no context for it either, which is odd. But would it surprise me? No. You have 3 massive entities that are probably going to be considered that way. Look, here's some information nobody has. Do you know what? Do you know how much money the federal government is floating for home loans right now? It's $2.3 trillion.
Trillion? Jesus.
Yeah.
No, it can't be billions. It'd be trillions.
Yeah, $2.3 trillion just in home loans since the recovery from 2008, right? So they had like, I think it was like barely, not even $1 billion before we tried to force this recovery that we just came out of and into another recession. Thank you. But $2.3 trillion. So having BlackRock be declared, what are they? $17 billion, or excuse me, $17 trillion.
Trillion.
Yeah, I was trying to get the Yeah.
I don't know if they're at 17 or 15 or 20, but
It's somewhere in there, yeah.
something like that.
So I'm like, yeah, they're going to be declared too big to fail, just like the Fed's too big to fail. I mean, it's the same thing. Of course, it's all going to fail. Nobody has any real money. They haven't had real money in a long time. I learned a bunch of stuff in the last week that I wish I didn't know about money. Tired of that.
Yeah, I guess this is when it comes from. Thanks to Six, she sent me this in the background.
Thank you,
This
Six.
happened last year, evidently.
Well, Yellen is
There
the
you go.
stupidest lady on the planet. What a terrible choice. What a terrible choice.
Yeah.
Oy.
Let's keep moving on. Sorry, guys. Ethala says Creative Force Films released a noir-style Jim Gordon short
It
film on
was
the channel. It's really
amazing.
well done.
Ooh.
These more
Oh.
views help support indie director.
It is so good. Somebody sent that to me and I flipped out over it and I watched it. I gave him a thumbs up. This is a genius film, Ethala. Indeed.
I'll have to check it out. That piques my interest.
Oh, it's incredible. And the guy that plays Batman does a good job. And there's a voice in there you might find familiar, but it's great. And it's not just noir style. It was 100% noir, black, white, everything down to the sound effects, the whole 9 yards. It is tight.
Man, you're tickling my fancy
You
right
were
now.
going to dig this.
Was
man.
it as tight as my outfit?
This is a DC film that Mike will lose his mind over. It's really
Why
good.
wasn't I informed of this?
I'm
Who's
sorry.
in charge?
I don't know. Creative Force Films.
That's a line from Batman 1989.
Have you ever been to that? Have you ever seen that, Bat Tom?
No, that's why I'm asking. What the hell are you talking about? Why wasn't I involved?
That weekend was amazing. Do you realize when that released, what else opened that weekend?
Amy Schumer's vagina.
Thanks, Bat Tom.
Holy.
What? It was totally wide open.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, this is why I'm here. I totally forgot.
Wow.
Somebody's got a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wait, it don't start there, does it? It starts up here like, happy birthday to you. 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 Fuck it. Oh, wow. He just got pissed.
Did you leave?
He just fucking left.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Pat.
Gee.
He got mad he couldn't get into it, I guess.
Tough crowd.
Today is his birthday, and he just bought the Shout Factory release of They Live. Ooh, nice. The 4K or just the regular Blu-ray? Either way, good choice, sir. Good choice.
right? For real.
Excellent. Excellent. Glad to hear it. And happy birthday, Pat. And then we got Neon Knight. Just sends in $5. Didn't say anything.
Hey, Neon.
Said $5. If you want to say something, just add us, me or Six, Neon Knight, and we'll make sure we grab that.
My neck of the woods. Originally.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Originally.
Oh, yeah. Dearest is sending us a piece of pie. We're going to have to fight over it, though.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Thank God Uncle Ethan isn't here.
No kidding. Jack White is, though. And he says, while long, oh, yeah, this is what he says. How long, I think he means. Will it be before Disney starts losing money again because of its woke BS? Has anyone here looked into Atomic Heart? I have not heard about Atomic Heart, and they're already losing money, Jack. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
They are so much losing money right now that they have to come up with around $6 billion in synergies and shit.
And here's the thing. He actually alluded to it during the earnings call by saying, although Avatar, he talked about, like, we fell short in, theatrical, yada, 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 yada. So there you go.
Dude, it's the parks. I mean, if it wasn't for the parks, they would be really, really, really hurting. The parks is the one thing that's really keeping them afloat right now. And you know why? Nostalgia. If you took that out of the equation, even if you put a small dent on them, it would make all the difference. all the difference if those parks took a hurt.
Andy Masterson made a great point on that last night. I don't know if he caught it.
Oh, did he?
On Pop Culture?
No, I
Because he
missed
says he
all
used to
that.
work at a major supermarket chain that figured they were too big to fail because of their, their name brand. And then he got into that point where it's like, okay, well, the parks are built on these characters and these stories, but today's generation of kids don't care about those characters and stories anymore. And if that, they much rather
look how many people still go. Like I know kids.
Well,
who are
yeah,
just there
today,
recently.
right? But we're only 5 or 10 years into this era of today's kids not caring. What happens another 10 or 20 years from now when they lose an entire generation and then some, and the older parents are starting to age out of that, and you're saying, well, okay, well, they ask the kids, well, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Disney World and see this and that? And they say, no, I want to go to Universal Studios and see Super Mario Brothers or something.
Yep.
Or something completely
I think
unrelated.
Super Mario might be the thing that gives them a legitimate run for the money. That's
I'm
good
going
for
to-
karaoke.
If I can
I think the Mario is going to be huge.
if I can butt in real quick, I
Butt
said this
in.
story before on
cheeks.
another.
Mikey, then culture.
Okay. I said this before in another stream. I think what Cece's talking about has already started to happen because I asked my 9-year-old, did he want to go to Disney World for his summer vacation when he comes down or for his birthday? I asked him this last year. And he said, no, of course not, Dad. I want to go to Universal. And I said, why do you want to go to Universal? He says, because that's where all the cool stuff is at.
There you go.
And I
Okay.
was
Culture.
like, okay. And the only reason, the only reason I even offered is because several years ago, I told him someday when Daddy moves out to the East Coast, I'll take you to Disney World, and not Disneyland. I'm sorry, Disney World. And so he's coming here for summer, and we're planning this vacation, and I asked his mom, and his mom said, ask Max. So I asked Max, and Max said, no, I want to go to Universal. I think those days are here.
Culture.
I think Mike's right. And I'm going to tell you something. Disney was so upset by the success by then, Tom. Disney was so upset by the success of Harry Potter Land, the first one in Florida, that they actually wanted to build something they would call the Potter Swatter. That would be an attraction that would drive people to the theme park. You know what they came up with? Pandora, Avatar. That's what they came up with, right? So, then Universal comes around and builds their phase 2 of Harry Potter in Florida, connects them together with the Hogwarts Express train, and Pandora opens, and they're still destroying market share from Disney. Now, fast forward, they build finally Star Wars. Spend $1 billion in Florida and $1 billion in California. So that's $2 billion on Star Wars. They still haven't got anything to compete with Harry Potter. So here's the other problem they have. It took them 6 years to build the Tron roller coaster in Magic Kingdom. And Universal's building a theme park in 2 years. Not an attraction, a theme park. It's called Epic Universe. It's going to have Super Mario Land. It's going to have the Ministry of Magic. They're tripling down on Potter in Florida. Disney is so far behind in the times, it's not even funny. And you know what their answer is, Mikey? You know what their answer is?
What?
A bunch of sequels nobody freaking wants or asked for.
Yep.
Disney's done.
They're also shedding trust, right? I mean, how many parents around the country or North America or the world, for that matter, right now are letting their kids watch the new Proud Family, just trusting that it's what they expect out of Disney, and then they find out in horror what it actually is.
Yeah.
And then now they will never let their kids watch Disney unattended ever again.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole point, right? CC made a great point. I think Mikey and everybody talks about this. I mean, you are watching massive institutional trust loss across the board, not just in governments, but in brands and companies. And Disney is actually getting into bed with, as a board of director, a chairman of the board person that they're bringing in at the shareholders meeting, a Nike guy that's all on board with forced labor in China. Of course, that doesn't bother Disney any. They made a freaking movie next door to a detainment camp for the Uyghur Muslims. Sorry, I'm done. I'm pissed. Can you tell?
I can tell.
You seemed really happy. I didn't notice the difference.
I noticed the difference. He was mad.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
I'd still like to know what more is going on with Peltz. My intuition was saying, is there some kind of connection that Peltz could impact the Reedy Creek district, and why did he suddenly drop off so quickly after the call? It still just doesn't all add up to me from the information I've been presented.
I think it's because he got placated and the stock went up, and he didn't think that he had enough proxy votes by the next investor meeting in order to force it. So he took the deal he could get without losing face, because if he went for all-out proxy battle and picked a fight and lost the fight, then he'd never be able to return again. In this scenario, this is actually smart strategically from where he's at, because he's like, okay, look, my stock's gone up since I bought it when it was in the gutter, because it's up 32% just since the end of December. Yeah. He's like, so his stock's gone up, his holdings have gone up. He's got the restructuring, which is something that he wanted. He's got big cuts, bigger than Chapek wanted. He's got big staffing cuts, bigger than Chapek was going to announce. And he got Iger to commit that there will be a dividend in 10 months from now. Then, if all that shit doesn't come to pass, then he can reset and keep going.
Well, and I think he'll have even more support at that point, and he might have even more invested in the company by that point. Again, I'm not convinced that he wasn't part of the institutional movement that went balls out, to raise the price $11 in after hours trading. He might have been, Mikey. We don't know, or he got some of his buddies. He's got buddies. Look, you have Thiel, Loeb, Peltz. There's a group of these guys, these billionaires, that they don't like where things are going, and they will throw their own institutional level power around. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they're not like, the slightly darker shade of rock or anything like that, but they have some sway.
So he's up to $1 billion now. Last I heard, he was at 900
million.
Over is that the stock change, or is he actually acquiring more assets?
I think he bought in at 800 million. Was that, or was it 750, Mikey? Was that where how much? 8. Okay. Yeah.
But now with he's bought some more, and with the increase in the price, he's up well over $1 billion.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Jack White says, Mike,
what?
Have you checked out Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood yet?
No.
And I life-sized elf doll is on the way to you, by the way. I'll take it if you don't want
it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, I'll take it.
I'll put Alf right here for like at least the whole thing.
Mecha J says, so what are your guys' thoughts on Disney announcing their animated sequels? I'm interested in their Zootopia 2 announcement, but I couldn't care less about Frozen 3 or Toy Story 5 news. Well, Mecha J, it would be interesting if it was actually new news, right, Culture?
Yeah.
None of this was actually really new news, was it? This is all stuff that's kind of been alluded to or hinted at in the past. But the one thing we did get is Tim Allen did confirm he will be back to voice Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 5. Not that anybody gives a fuck, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the question. Do we care? Well,
no.
I can't say I do. I didn't like the first Zootopia. Didn't like Frozen, and I'm after Toy Story 4. I don't know if I could go again. I mean, I love the first 3, but
Toy Story 4 is an atrocious film. Yeah.
Yeah. After that,
Pixar's not Pixar anymore either, right? So
No.
who's going to make it?
No, well, there's no Lasseter anymore. That's the answer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I have the issues that there's just with Toy Story. There's just like I could see why they would do a second Zootopia. It was a movie that did fairly well, and it's like, okay, hey, there's something that's more original from the
Well,
last
don't they already
several
have the
years.
Disney Plus series as well? So
Yeah, so I can see that makes sense from if I'm looking at this from objective lenses. With if I take out all the stigma, I could see why they do that. Now, Toy Story 5, I take big exceptions at because to me it's just we're not letting go of this story at all.
Hey, Tom, I hate to do this. I just want to answer this question real quick, and then I got to bail. Zootopia. The only reason this film is being done when it's being done is because they're going to add Zootopia to Animal Kingdom in Florida. That's it.
Wow.
No other reason.
They've been consistently doing Zootopia stuff. Was my point anyway. Yeah. All right. Take care, culture, and I'll see you later.
See you.
I see
right.
it's been culture.
And then we got anybody else want to say anything about the Disney announcement? No, it just none of them were really that A, exciting, B, surprising, and C, they're very safe, right? They're very safe announcements. There was nothing about them that was controversial in any way. I mean, nobody's looking forward to Toy Story 5 because we all hated the last one. Frozen 3, well, duh. Because little girls love that fucking movie.
3 will do. I think that'll do fine. To me, Toy Story 5 that blows my mind. Like why they couldn't let that one go. I can see once again from a business lens. I can see why they went for Frozen 3. I get it, but Toy Story 5 to me that is just like guys.
Well, it should be called Frozen Milk at this point because that's really what they're doing.
They gotta let it go with Toy Story.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Can I just tell you that is the most annoying.
Not leading with that.
It is.
That is the most annoying song I've ever fucking heard in my entire life.
Horrible. And it's full of idiots. It's SJW idiocy.
I would rather hear like nails on a fucking chalkboard.
Yeah, it's terrible.
My understanding with the Lasseter departure is that he brought a lot of talent out of the company with him. And I've seen it in video games, which I play a lot. Sometimes companies divide. Somebody leaves and they take all the talent with them. And it can take like well over a decade to replace that talent. And I'm wondering right now whether or not Disney even has the staff in-house to produce the kind of content they used to anymore because so many
Because a lot of the people that ousted him are the only ones left, CC. You're exactly right. That's the problem. So it was a lot of the people that were left over that didn't want to listen to the old white dude in the office. Because I don't know if y'all are privy to it, but his ousting was one of the worst Me Too stories in Hollywood. Like if anybody got fucked over, like I seen Roseanne griping the other day. Yeah, she's right to a point. But no, Lasseter got fucked over so hardcore and nobody said shit. The luckiest thing for him though is he's over at Sony right now. I think it is. Is it Sony or Apple? Apple. He's at Apple, I think. And he's working over there. So we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, he's been pretty much blacklisted because of that stupid bullshit. Over hugs, supposedly.
Yeah.
And he supposedly had a drinking problem.
Wait, hugs and a drinking problem? Is that what's going to get me canceled off of
drink to
Midnight's Edge?
You're right? No shit. You might want to be careful. But yeah, we're going to be losing Nick here shortly too. So Pinochet's helicopter tour says, if your goal is to destroy the economy, yelling perfect. Yeah, I'm sure Culture would have appreciated that one too. Dial Tone sends in a super sticker, and it is I had it here just a second ago. I gotta flip over here. It is a black mustache, aka Polly's mustache. That's right. It says purple, but it don't look purple to me.
God, can we do a GoFundMe to like raise money to buy that Mexican
hate that
razor?
mustache, don't you?
Dude, I want to run a GoFundMe to just help fucking finance fucking Polly going to CVS or Walgreens and get a fucking
keeping that stash. I fight for the stash. Seriously, I'm fighting for the stash.
I agree. No. And then Jack White says Andy was talking about is A and P. He pointed out that they didn't acknowledge other grocery. Oh, okay, an A and P. Okay, got it. And they didn't acknowledge other grocery store chains as serious competition, just like Disney is doing with Universal. Okay, gotcha. IGA went through similar shit too. Piggly Wigglies have kind of gotten to the point where they've gotten. I mean, they're still around in the South, but like
we have them down here in the States.
Yeah, they're upper Midwestern. They're almost.
We got them up there.
There's only a couple.
Piggly Wigglies up there.
We had one in my hometown. We had one in about 45 minutes away.
20 minutes from me.
I was gonna say, and then we had another one that was at least
okay.
another maybe half hour after that. But
Oh,
yeah, we used to
okay.
have tons of them around here. In fact, Wisconsin was one of the earlier states to get them outside of the South, and yeah, they're almost all gone here.
We got them
now.
down to the sticks down here in some places. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them have switched over to other brands. Jack White, though, thank you for that. Yeah, you're right. As far as Universal and Disney, we brought this up a few times. I think it's just going to be a matter of time, and I think Mario is going to be a big slap to the face to him, because that'll be a third or fourth Universal animated film to kick the shit out of a Disney comparative, because they have not had anything outside of Encanto, which is like they actively kept down for some reason.
Yeah, is that weird how that
That's
happened?
Mexicans and taco racism.
DreamWorks did good with obviously Minions, and of course their Puss in Boots has been a sleeper hit. If it wasn't for Avatar, it probably would make even more money. But Puss in Boots is doing big business, and that was a long gap between that first movie and the second, and is Andy in the chat? Had a nice steady stay in the American charts. If you look at the numbers, it's already, granted, I know inflation is something to consider, but it opened up smaller than the first movie, but it's overstaying the first movie in the long term. And I think and I've heard many people say like that they really enjoyed the movie. So people are really, it seems like adults and kids are enjoying it. So DreamWorks and Nintendo are going to really give Pixar a strong run for their money.
Yeah.
I feel like if anyone can challenge the parks, I think Universal is going to be one. Right now, I'm not completely sold on the parks going with, but I think if anyone can make that happen, it's going to be Universal and Nintendo.
Yeah. And then we're going to wrap it up here with our last super chat for Mexican Iron Man from Teague. Says, what would you like to see in a Wacky Races movie? Should the Herculoids be included? Should they make it a 2.5D animated film? Like 2.5D, not quite 3D.
I have no idea what he's asking me.
You never seen Wacky Races before?
No.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Klobby and I guess are going to, and maybe
Are you guys
CC.
Teague? I'm going to have my buddies. I'm going to have
you don't even know CC? Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
I'm calling a friend. Calling a friend.
Oh, Jonas isn't around too. Yeah, everybody shows up and we're just wrapping up. Transformer then? Yeah. No, Wacky Races was basically okay, you guys know what like Super Mario Brothers Smash and all that shit? And Kingdom Hearts and all that stuff.
Races. Yeah.
Where they cram all the characters under one umbrella together.
Hanna-Barbera characters in this case.
Hanna-Barbera did it years and years and years and years and years before that to make fun of the Cannonball Run. They brought all their cartoon characters under a thing called Wacky Races. It was kind of fun.
Dastardly and Muttley, Penelope Pitstop.
Yep. And then they'd have like guest appearances by all the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People.
That laugh of that dog. I love Dastardly and Muttley.
Dastardly. We'll kill the Wacky Races this time. I can't do them that well, but
anyway,
it was even way before Cannonball Run, though. But yeah,
it was. Oh yeah, it was before, wasn't it? Duh, you're right. Jesus,
way before. Yeah, cool stuff, fun.
It was the same kind of concept, though. Really.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but maybe that inspired Cannonball Run.
Grape Ape.
Grape Ape.
Grape Ape.
Mikey has to leave us, though. He's got tons and tons of rabbit chickens to tend to. As you see there.
Well, I got an irate client that owes me money, and I'm going to collect, so I got to get
Ooh, boy.
Get your money.
Uh-oh.
All right, we love you, Mikey. So check out Mikey's channel. Check out Nick Weiser's channel. Anything coming up real quick, Nick? You want to...
yeah, just the comic shop talk tomorrow night. We're talking the conclusion of the Infinity Gauntlet story, the original story that obviously became the basis for Infinity War and Endgame. We've been doing a week-by-week review of each issue. Tomorrow's the conclusion of that. So Klobby is also a weekly guest on that panel, so I'm looking forward to talking the last issue on that. It's going to be a very fun thing to go, and it's nice showing people who aren't as aware of the source material, showing the differences between that to movies and really getting them to understand more things that, for context's sake. So yeah, it's good, and that's what's coming up. And I've got a video I'm gonna record tomorrow, and yeah, and of course, Toxic Tuesday will be back the week after Valentine's Day with Showdown in Little Tokyo. So yeah, thank you for having me, Tom, Chat, Mods, Wrenches, thank you guys as well. I appreciate your time and your energy and your comments. You all have a great evening. And I'm Tom. I'm sure I'll see you in a few minutes. And Clobby, I'll see you tomorrow. And CC Karaoke, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, depending on what order they talk about stuff, I'll either hop in before or after my supper. Clobby, you already went, right?
No, listen, I got my the clubhouse.
He just mentioned your clubhouse. Yeah, okay, that's it.
Yeah, at 9 Central, in a little less than an hour. With my wonderful first officer Raquel, and our great buddy Mark D with the C, the chief engineer. That'll be fun. And then of course I'll be hanging out with actually my good buddy Dad Man Walking. I think Cultural is going to be there as well. At 7 Eastern tomorrow night on his up and coming channel, talking the Super Bowl, and then of course with Nick tomorrow night, and then of course Saturday night Star Trek at 9 p.m. Central this week, starting off season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, reviewing 4 more episodes with Raquel.
Awesome. Send Raquel our love. And CC Karaoke, always dropping those karaoke tracks for your karaoke and pleasure. Anything you got coming up? I know you're starting to do some streaming again.
Yeah. I was going to say Clobber, and DS9 is my favorite Star Trek series, so I got to say that whenever it comes up.
Oh, no,
but
cool.
As far as where you can find me, Friday nights are the way to go. The Late Show with Mexican Iron Man, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, on Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And then after that show, I'm going to get karaoke going back up on my channel, and perhaps you'll even see Tom there amongst some other familiar faces. Now, that'll go right into the night, into Saturday morning for, about 3 hours and change.
Until we all die, basically.
Yeah.
Until we're singing like, oh, we can't say anymore, our voices are gone.
As long as YouTube doesn't kick us off, which is
that too,
normally it doesn't,
that too.
But you never know.
Yes, and then Jonas agrees with you that it is the most respectful deconstruction of Star Trek. There you go.
On occasion.
On occasion. Followed by Battlestar Galactica. We got to get Jonas back on here again. Jonas is fun. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We appreciate it. I seen some other guys in the chat earlier. We're going to have on here real soon. Oh, we got one more. Jack White, Mike's gone, but he says, Mike, the main character of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is voiced by Vic in the English dub of the anime, FYI. So he means Vic Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'll pass that on to him. Jack, he had to run a deal with a client, so we appreciate the support. You might be a little behind in the stream, that's why too. So when you do hear this, be known that I will pass that on to him. I just screenshot it. So there we go. So thank you so much, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. And with that, it is time to go.